Okay, my dating period between the breakup of 2004, 2005, and my remarriage after 22 years. I ended up remarrying. I had a criteria. I met a woman in Catholic Church. I thought she was the one, you know? And she met all my criteria. At that time, I wanted someone that didn't have kids, didn't have an ex-husband, that had a purpose in life and had a faith, had a family, had relationships, and a purpose. That's kind of what I based my life on. Faith, family, friends, and a purpose. So it all looked pretty good. I met her in the late 2008. I've always met somebody kind of like 4 or 5 years later, you know, because I took relationships very serious. And when I would fall in love, man, it was serious, man. It was hard, you know. And so my love was my mistress, which was my business. So I had a 25-year career in manufacturing. In the second 25 years of my 50-year careers was in consulting and business advice and so on. So I was pretty pumped up, you know what I mean, about life. I was proud of myself of what I was giving. And you know, when they talk about what are you giving in a relationship, I always felt like I was giving a lot. And I fell in love with this woman, you know. And she was Colombian, bilingual, and I thought, wow, I'm learning something. I met her family, and it was about a year into it that we were starting to get serious. And then, what should I say? We went through the Catholic Church. I had an annulment. I wanted to get married in the Catholic Church. And you're going to think I'm crazy, but I was into celibacy and no cohabitation, as if I still had kids and I was a role model, even though all of my 3 kids were married, you know. So I'm going to shorten it up here because we were married for 12 years. Went through the process, and I would say after the first 2 years I realized I made a mistake, but I was so committed to my faith, and I wanted to make sure that I was doing all the right things. But we talked during those 12 years of marriage. We talked about separation, divorce, probably every 2 years. We went through therapy, couples therapy, all that stuff, you know. And I just felt like I was a sugar daddy. And I started getting resentful. And the celibacy aspect and the intimacy and the cohabitation, I made a mistake, man. I made a mistake after 22 years. And she was 8 years younger than me. But there were a lot of red flags. The red flags were she didn't have friends. She had a faith. Her family was good, except for her sister. She was too close to her sister. And her sister was divorced and had a lot of problems with her marriage. And I think my wife at that time admired and idolized her sister. And her brother gave me a forewarning about that on my wedding day. And I didn't take it that serious because he was the youngest of the 3 kids. And then the other issue is she didn't have really any friends. You know what I mean? And that's a red flag. And then, of course, she didn't have a purpose. She quit her jobs right away within the 30 days. And, you know, it was a cash trap, man. The marriage was a cash trap. We had a prenup. I filed. They contested it. They threw it out of court. So I had to put my business cap on, and I just cut a deal and said, listen, I'll pay you to stop the bleeding. That's what I did. So we were married for 12 years. And I'll tell you what she gave me. She gave me eating habits, healthy eating habits, and I think that's it. Because we didn't have kids together. Oh, she traveled well. It was good to travel with her, but, it was just so costly to hold on to her for 12 years. I was getting drained financially, even though I was working real hard and so on. And then when COVID hit, it all went downhill, man. It was all an excuse. So bottom line is, I learned a lot. And so now I'm in my 70s, and I'm very cautious on the type of woman that I believe that is going to be a good companion. I'm going to let God take care of this one, because now I'm going to focus once again on my faith, my family, my friends, and my purpose. And that's where I'm at right now with TikTok and the rest of it in my social media. A lot of what I'm doing now is just to share with my children, my grandchildren, and so on, my life on video, because it's evergreen. Now, one thing you probably don't realize, I have multiple books. I did a lot when it came down to industry expertise. And so on my website, on YouTube, I'm explaining all this. But I just want to let you know, the Bumble guy, it's not going to be that easy to meet somebody that is going to deal with me, because, I'm very hesitant about making any commitment at my age, with someone. This is where, and I don't think an app is going to do it. I think somebody will introduce me to somebody, or we'll meet somewhere and we just play it out, So that's kind of my story in a series of marrying at 22 and divorcing in my 60s, and now I'm in my 70s, and we'll see what happens. But I have no regrets of experience. No regrets of meeting people and being in sales all my life. I met a lot of people, and that's where it comes. And I'm from a big family, 10 brothers and sisters. We're all alive. My father's close to 100 in February, and that's it. So we'll talk to you soon. God bless.